welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with
CJ Lou from the Fire It Up with CJ show.
Woo!
Woo!
If you've ever wanted, if you've ever wanted to take a giant leap but didn't know how in the world to do so, or where in the world you're going to go, then do we have the Leap of Faith show for you? Today we'll talk about taking the leap, having faith, and stepping forward over the edge, even if you can't see the glass bridge below. That plus we'll talk about 5-year anniversaries, RV trips to somewhere, good morning to Orion, higher vibes, trust and perseverance from an unexpected outcomes, sunrise bathing, moving to Sherpa status, integrating systems, moving and the unknown, and what in the world not having a clue how to do with anything. Oh, that's going to hurt my rib, which you probably knew I broke last time. But anyway,
Okay, I'm
what are
bringing
we
out
doing for
chakra
today?
four spray, pine, rosewood, and neroli because I think we need as much love as we can get, Michael.
All the love I can get.
May we all be surrounded during these turbulent times with love and light, knowing
Today
that it's
is
all for our
nine.
growth.
Today's 911, and it was 5 years ago. So it was 5 years and 3 months since we started working on the show. But it was 5 years ago today that we flipped the go live button
Oh,
because we wanted to
exciting.
light love to the world. So it is 5 years today, and this is our last interview in this studio.
Wow. Okay, so will I be able to talk to you over the phone, or how am I going to talk to
You
you, Michael?
I have no idea
Uh,
what it's going to look like. We've got a bunch of camera equipment. We get into the RV in either 2 or 3 weeks' time. There are a surprisingly large number of unexpected variables in play, but we will see how it goes and what in the world we do. I've got cell phones and cell phone boosters, and it's going to be an interesting trip into the unknown, but this is it. I had Carolyn Mace on earlier today. And now I break down immediately following this interview, I break down the studio. It will be interesting to see if I cry or how I feel, but it's time to be moving on, not from Inspire Nation, but time to be moving on from this home, which we discussed briefly last time. And so the studio is getting well, the same thing that the rest of us are getting right now. We're all getting deconstructed. And so the studio is just one of those many pieces because there's no way you can rise from the ashes like a phoenix until you've been deconstructed first.
so you're going to be recording. You don't know anything. So, like, right now is the game plan for you to be recording on your Mac or your PC and then, like, uploading, hopefully, someplace along the road. And do you have people scheduled?
So we're not going to do regular guests for an 8 week period. It's going to be Jessica and I on the mic, sharing our journey, sharing our learning, sharing our lessons. And this is a healing journey, I think, for everybody, because we're all being deconstructed. We're all being taken apart. Nobody has the same life they had earlier this year. For ourselves, we've mentioned many times before, we've had 3 miscarriages over the last year and a half. And that combined with some other recent challenges and combined with the fires, which took Jessica out for close to a month, and there are so many fires around the country, if not around the world right now, that we need to get out and really step back. In fact, I got that from an oracle card earlier today. Step back from our current life circumstances and get outside of our regular way of being to create something new. And that's what so many of us get to do right now. And so we're going out knowing we're recording, knowing we're going to share our journey. We're going to share our epiphanies and our challenges along the way. But we are going to take an 8 week period away from interviewing at least bookie kind of guests. If we meet somebody on the road, and I imagine road magic will happen, and we just have to interview them. Well, I've got all the equipment, the lights, and everything.
Right.
Let's go. But I am going to. It's like your Camino. Allow into everything. The trip itself is 42 days, I believe, plus a couple weeks to get things set up here so that we can move out as expeditiously and slowly, the paradox put together deliberately by the universe, as we can.
So when is your departure date? It used to be September 15th. What date is it now?
It is either September 22nd or 29th, and that's not fully in our hands. So much of this is not. And I know I can step back and look at the inner workings of the universe. I don't know why things are happening in the short term. I can see long term, it's for our greater good, but I can see that different narrow doorways have come up at the same time for our highest good.
So originally you were going to go to all these places now under fire. So what does that
You
mean about
noticed that, CJ? You did. You might have rolled up a curtain or something or opened the curtain. No, wait
Yeah,
a
I
second.
wish I'd known earlier, Michael. If I did, I would have given you some type of precognition, but no, I'm sorry. So what are you going to do? What's your game plan going to be?
So far, and the game plan is, shall we say, in flux.
Mm,
And we thought it was going to be politically in flux, that we were going to have to, dodge all sorts of political challenges potentially. But right now, it's Mother Nature challenges. Our plan still is to go up to the Tetons, to go up to Yellowstone. There are a few fires burning south of Yellowstone, but I think it'll be all right. To go up to Glacier National Monument, to visit Belinda Womack in Kalispell, Montana, who we just had on, an amazing, amazing Angels lady. And if you haven't had her on the show 10 times, you need to.
okay.
From from there, we were going to go to Sandpoint and then over to is it the Cascades or Olympia? I get the two confused.
Hmm.
That's on fire.
Hmm.
So that is off the list. We were going to head south and visit a couple amazing national parks in the middle of Washington. Those appear to be on fire. Um, I'm so sorry. We might go to Forks, which is not on fire because I mean the places
Well,
are
can you
giant
just go to the
rainforests.
East Coast? Because you were originally going to end with the East Coast. Can you just start with the East Coast and go in reverse?
I've never thought of that. It's possible, but then you're taking an RV which isn't really designed for heavy duty snow conditions, and you're putting yourself into Montana mountain passes at the end of October or something.
Oh, if you go back that way, I see.
Yeah. So it might just be, and but I never thought of that. I am so open at this point. I have, as I was telling Carolyn a couple hours ago, I surrender. I surrender doesn't mean I give up. I mean surrender means universe, you drive. Wherever you want to go, that's where we're going.
Okay, so here's the alternative map is that you go, because you were planning going to the East Coast, go to the East Coast, and then instead of going south and around, go north and around. Like that area, like Montreal, that
Can't
area,
go into Canada.
you can't go into Canada. Oh, right. So how about like New
Now
Hampshire,
you're talking
Vermont,
Chicago, and from the Vermont area would be great. And I'd
Great
like
Lakes, Michigan? There's lots of pretty places there.
it's possible. However, part of the unintended part of the goal, not a good way to put it, is we want to scout out areas to see if we want to leave Colorado.
I see, got it.
And
Mm,
the areas that call to us have giant peaks that are snow covered in the wintertime.
mm,
Vermont, upstate New York, Maine. First off, we're sunny people. We tend to
mm.
shrivel in the darkness. So we're looking at the Tetons or maybe the middle of Montana, northern Montana, although I believe it's not going to be sunny enough for us, but with the understanding that if a place calls to our heart, even if the head gives me a list of reasons why no, that's where we'll end up. And
Hmm.
I'm totally open for that. So we're going to be looking Idaho, Wyoming,
Hmm.
Montana, and maybe even parts of Washington and Oregon.
Hmm.
Now it seems to be toward to Montana,
Mm.
and maybe we had taken the Grand Canyon out of the loop. Maybe the Grand Canyon comes back in, not for moving to, but just because we can't get to a lot of the places that we wanted to. Now, a part of this is really interesting. Jessica is exceptionally sensitive to forest fire smoke. So she was sick for the month of August. And 2 years ago, she was sick for a good month and a half. And so one of the things we're looking at is where is that sweet spot, that place where you aren't that susceptible to smoke, but since she's been sick with mold toxicity, doesn't have the East Coast humidity.
Hmm. I'm talking about
And
west coast of California.
that's on fire too.
I know, but not all of it. Like if it's too like a sea ranch area, maybe.
So I know I had on Dawson Church 2 weeks ago, and who's an amazing, amazing author of Genie in Your Genes, Bliss
Hmm.
Brain, many books on EFT tapping. He lost his home in 2017 in Santa Rosa. I
Oh,
had on the following interview Wallace J. Nichols, who wrote Blue Mind, and his home in the Redwoods was just north of Santa Cruz. It burned down 2 weeks ago. Heart Math is in the Santa Cruz Redwoods. Everything around them burned down.
wow. So yeah, okay. Maybe never mind about the northern. I guess,
I feel for
Michael.
everybody. I'm saying it as if where do we go? But how many other people are in our place or worse? We had a fire come to a mile and a half 2 years ago, came to 4 miles this time, ash coming out of the sky, but we still got our house. How
Yeah,
many people don't have their homes right now?
right. Yeah.
We are, but we're moving into the unknown, and it's interesting because 2.5 years ago when we moved out here, we had rented an RV. Jessica had taken a couple trips out here, but even I think 5 or 6 weeks before we moved out, we had no idea where we were going exactly. And this is even more of a leap of faith because we're renting an RV and we have no idea where we're coming back to.
Right.
And so it is everything I'm getting out of automatic writing, everything I'm channeling, everything we're getting from the oracle cards, everything is saying get out, get out, get out. In fact, that's how Jay Nichols, his interview ended with him saying get out, get out, get out, having to do with his daughter. That was their theme in their house growing up was any problem, get out and explore. Any challenge, get out. Whatever's going on, get out. And he heard that night before his house burned down, get out, and he did just in time. He thought of
Wow.
staying to work on some wood finish or something and decided the fire was a little too close for comfort. And he had an Airstream RV trailer in his yard. It got so hot that that turned into a puddle of aluminum. There was nothing left of his house.
Wow.
So
Wow.
we are hearing in a different way, get out. And it's a loving and kind voice saying that the answers will come to you when you step out into the unknown. Both Jessica and I are getting it individually. We're getting it together as well. We can read the signs and symbols. It's not too hard to read the tea leaves that are saying, get out. We would like it under circumstances where we knew where we were going and what we're doing. But that takes the magic or the mojo out of the puzzle.
Hmm.
If we're truly surrendering and allowing the universe to guide us, then we will go without any itinerary that we had, without the agenda of saying, this is the place. And instead, we will be open, we will look, and we will listen, and we will do our best not to hurry.
So you're talking about being in the unknown, and it's interesting because, as you said, like all of us are getting upended in and asked to go into the unknown. And of course, given your nature, Michael, you have come to the extreme sports version of this. Yes, all of us are on.
Universe always gives you the lessons that match with your wounds.
Yes.
It knows where to get you.
So, because and finding your home and setting down your home and finding your roots and traveling with your family, the chicken, the cats. I'm not sure who else is going in that van. I know
E-I-E-I-O.
they keep on
I mean,
adding.
on one hand, Jessica would smuggle the golden mantle squirrels to go along with us. But I just don't think the little squirrels that should just double the size of chipmunks and Sir Meowsers belong near each
Yeah, no,
other.
I don't. I think that's not a marriage made in heaven. You will have to choose. But it's interesting because I'm going through, like you said, like each of us is going through our own journey of the unknown, and I had a situation. They talk about vibrating higher, and so you and I are doing all this work on ourselves to vibrate at a higher level. And what is not told to other, if you go to this higher level, there's a higher vibration, and therefore the amount of impact that you're having unintentionally is actually greater. And like it's like because if you think about like something oscillating at a greater level, like things happen in a like all of a sudden the same things that you did before are now different in this current higher level state. And I am finding that like even with my coaching work, it seems like we're doing something very simple, like let's work on your resume. What's getting in the way? And then we end up going into something super deep, like super deeply wounded from a childhood, whether it's like sexual abuse or death, unexpected death. Like, I'm like, I was just talking about your resume.
Not when you pull on the ball of yarn in 2020, CJ. Not a chance.
And I think because you're at a higher vibration, like what happens is like talking about your resume. Now we're talking about something else. And I'm completely thrown and unprepared because I'm expecting it to be look and feel like this. And I have a set of tools that look and feel like this. Oh, God bless you. Michael, you're just having a day. I guess you're sneezing, and people can't hear the sound because he's muted because your mouse is just crying so much.
I'm
But it,
definitely taking a note for the editor. Mute
he
me.
but he sneezed twice. Um, but I think that you're vibrating at a higher level, so these things are happening fast and furious beyond your ability to know even what to do because it's unexpected. So the unexpected is arising, and I got this piece of work that I did with a client because I was so surprised, and it's literally like a jazz musician. Like I have these techniques and they're procedural and they like go through steps and you get complete. And I get into these places, first of all, that I'm not expecting. And then when I do use them, my usual tools are not working. And then I have to ad lib with the tools, and it's not like one tool. I'm like merging four different tools in one. Like I have all the knowledge, but I haven't. It's like a jazz musician. I haven't decided to compose it in this particular way, but clients are coming up with stuff that is just unexpected in every single way. And it's about being like a jazz musician, like doing improv. It's like, okay. I love how I have like a little participatory audience in the back
Oh
with
yeah,
Sir
you
Mousers.
that's the horn section apparently from Sir Meowsers there.
Exactly. But what I like about it is that it's like this jazz musician, and you know what is really hard when I've been in this space. I don't know if you can relate to it, but it feels unsafe because you're in unknown territory. You don't have clear tools that you know that you're going to use. Um, you're not even sure if you're doing the right thing, if you're doing it well. And in fact, sometimes you don't do the right thing and you don't do it well. And then all the demons come up. You didn't do it well. This isn't the right thing. And it takes so much perseverance to basically acknowledge, accept, and embrace that you're having these feelings of sadness, but then at the same time, um, boundary it, and then go to a place of faith and trust that all of this stuff is happening for a particular reason. Why? You don't know. Is it for your growth? Absolutely, yes. Is it for your learning? Absolutely, yes. Do you know what it is? No. Does it feel painful? Yes.
It's interesting. I've watched conversations that were misinterpreted and all sorts of weird stuff over the last few weeks, and I'm going, am I creating drama? I am trying so hard to move slowly. I am trying so hard to stay centered and grounded. And yet I'm not making, quote, all the right decisions. Some of the decisions I make, I look back a day or two later and I go, what was I thinking? I was doing the best I could. I checked in with automatic writing. I moved extra slowly. And yet still there are little minor boom.
Yeah.
All I can know is that that's actually how it was supposed to be. That's all I am assured of right now is that it is unfolding exactly how it's supposed to unfold, even despite looking just like a chaotic, nutty, crying meowsers in the background mess. No meowsers were heard in the making of this
And
thing.
just for people who
Meowsers,
didn't know, Meowsers is a cat. In case you thought it was a child, it's actually he's a cat.
he's a cat who wants out of the studio, but for reasons I can't really go into, he can't go out of the studio right now. And his ego is not fully understanding or grasping of it. And what he is sounding like, even though we'll probably mute out almost all of it, oh, geez, and I even had my mic down low, what he is saying is what we're all experiencing. This is out of my control. This does not feel comfortable right now.
This is one of the funniest episodes I've ever done with you, Michael. I don't even know how to explain. This episode is an episode of the unknown. And you know what? Okay, this is what it's showing me. You just have to laugh. Because why is this happening? I don't know. Why is your mouse crying? I don't know. What can we do to change it? Nothing. Nothing. We can't do anything to change it, and that
I
is the
even
point.
have treats here, and that's not doing the trick.
Everything we know on how to deal with it is not working, or sort of working, or not working as we expected. And
All we
so,
can do, all we
oh,
can do is either control the inside, or like yesterday, I wasn't in my shiny happy place.
yeah.
So I could observe it. I wasn't going to force it. But I'm driving down the road and I'm staying in a state of prayer.
Hmm.
Help me, angel. Help me, guides. Help me, angel. Help me, guides. I surrender. I surrender. Help me, angel. Help me, guides. And the best I could do was stay in a state of prayer.
Hmm.
Sometimes that's all we've got.
Yeah, and what I also appreciate is what I'm interpreting from what you're saying as being in a place of patience and slowness so that you don't miss the signals along the way. Because if you rush through everything, there's this kind of, you're trying to run away from everything, like pedal as fast as you can away from the scenario instead of just, I'm in it, I'm as is, I'm accepting what is. I'm in equanimity with what is. Do I like it? No. Do I understand it? No. Can I fix it? No. What can I do? Observe it, allow it, just allow everything to be where it is, as it is, understanding that it's as perfect as it could be or more than you even understand. So, it's about trust and perseverance throughout this whole thing, going slowly, finding times to connect and to allow and accept the present moment versus running away from it. That's what I'm taking away from kind of our collective wisdom. And, here's the thing for me. So I had this case where it felt really challenging. And I thought, why is this happening? Like, I don't feel like I succeeded or did well or did my best and didn't have the outcomes I was expecting with a client. And I haven't felt that way in so long. Like, I'm in a place of mastery and confidence, and I felt
Right.
not in those places at all. And that was the thing, to not be in those places. And I think the other thing that I recognize in when you're in the work of helping people, I realize that with my attitude in work and how I'm going about work is shifting because when I think it's my Asian heritage, work is hard, grueling work. You have to toil, you have to perfect it, you have to work hard, you have to, control situations to create best outcomes. It has this kind of energy around it, at least my understanding of my culture. And As I've been focusing on my gene keys that I've talked about before and being in an ecstatic present, ecstatic ecstasy. And if that were to translate to a workplace and I wasn't compromising myself and what truly brings fun to me, then work would be an ecstatic endeavor. And I've been wondering like what could make work an ecstatic endeavor. Well, if I didn't think I was realizing that when I'm working with a client, I have this like full service kind of Nordstrom's like almost Sherpa like I carry the backpack of the person up the hill. If they're like, can you bring me, food that I'm sure I can eat, like I would eat the poison berry. I'm like, okay, it's safe. Now you can eat it. It's just
Like
like
a mama bird.
yeah, it's kind of overly responsible. Like I'm dragging the person up the hill of the mountain of their destiny versus a completely different perspective is when I'm with a client, we're traveling your territory. I don't know what territory you know,
Right.
but I know how to purify the water. I know how to fix broken ankles. Like I have all of those things, but I don't know what territory we're on. So if you take me up your mountain, I may be like, what? Like I thought it was gonna take months to even reach this peak, and we're here in this moment. And if it's hard because I'm not expecting us to go that rapidly in ascent or descent, depending on how you describe it. And when that happens, gosh, like you ran up so quickly, you may actually twist your ankle, and I didn't expect it. Or, we're doing some type of work that took us up in this very fast place very quickly, and you can't breathe because we were at a really high altitude, and I wasn't prepared with my oxygen mask. And I can actually, you have to first tell me that you can't breathe because I had a client who wasn't telling me that they were having issues, so I didn't know until later. It's like, well, I don't know if I want to do that because I haven't been able to breathe for 3 days after. Just like, and I felt so bad, and I thought, but I didn't know. Like if you're climbing up the mountain and you go as partners co-creating your experience, then both parties have to be communicating their experience and what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and neither party is fully responsible for the outcomes, right? It's both parties are fully responsible for the outcomes, meaning I'm there because I've been hired to make sure if you break your ankle or don't have oxygen, I can tell you what to do. But like I can't carry all your bags up the mountaintop. So all this hardship, this struggling, this pain, it helped me get an insight about work and how the healing work can be an ecstatic, co-created experience, and where both of us can just flow into the unknown, not even knowing where neither of us are exactly sure where we're going to go, but let's move there together and figure out where we're going. And I have like 20 tools that I've been dragging along that I can apply. I have like my medical kit with anything to just save you during a time, but I'm not sure what or whatever. It could be like I need to tape your ankle and put some type of ointment on it, and like some other thing that I wasn't expected, put some crystals on it. Like I'm not sure what it will be, but you have to tell me. So this was a case where a client didn't tell me, and I felt so bad that she felt awful, but it's because things are rapidly ascending because I'm hitting at this vibrational point. I didn't realize. So all of this is to say that there is all of this leads to some type of growth. For me, it was like a fundamental shifting, and I'm hoping to own this of my work and how I conceptualize work. So, and
That's huge.
yeah, and I think probably the same will come with you because you're no longer doing like all these weekly shows and having to upload things. Maybe your whole program changes to you and Jessica just talking and traveling around the world, or the two of you talking every day on the mic, and that's it. And wouldn't that be just a joyful experience to do that? I mean, we just don't know where this is all going.
We don't. We're completely open to that. We're open to something else. We are open. We do expect, expect's a bit of a strong word. I'm going to go with expect. Something magical is coming out of it.
Hmm.
That I am sure of. Something even better is coming out of it. I don't pretend to know what it looks like.
Hmm.
If I did, it wouldn't be the right thing because I need to put myself out there and try and explore. The interesting thing is, when you put yourself out there, particularly like you're saying, without knowing how to use the tools anymore, is going to be, and I'm not saying this as a law of attraction, be careful what you say. The fact is, there's going to be discomfort because we are habituated creatures. I have been for 5 years extremely habituated.
Hmm.
I knew where I was going to be when and what I was going to be doing and how I was going to be doing it. And now I'm going to be out on the open road where I'm going to be going, I need to fix a pipe with a wrench, I have no idea what's coming.
And you've always been so, when you've gone on these adventures, you haven't necessarily been in tow with like a gigantic vehicle, animals, your wife. Like you haven't necessarily had the same configuration when you were out journeying and exploring. Now you're journeying and exploring together. And so that even that's going to add like a different flavor to your journey. I mean, it's really, in some ways, to me, it's like you're beginning your family together in defining it in your own way, and all of you are there together, including the chicken. Asking.
Which it's a whole story for another episode, but we haven't had the resources to figure out the litter training yet. We will. And so he has now custom made rooster diapers coming. I kid you not.
Okay, so you're having all the
I'm going to be
things for you.
changing diapers too.
Exactly,
It's
you're
like a giant training for me.
you're inventing new territories that people have really probably never ever thought of before, Michael. So now everyone can have a pet chicken if they
Well,
want.
the big thing is we have, and there are we haven't found rooster diapers. We found chicken, but this rooster is big. Um, we're making a rooster backpack. I may have mentioned this
You
last time, so
did.
I can run with him on me as well. It's exploration. It's putting ourselves out there. It's
You take it
trying.
to a whole new level, Michael.
You have to.
Well, I think that one thing, I had a coaching session with my spiritual teacher, and both the two of us have so much information, right? I have, and in this case, we were talking about the five wisdoms of the Buddha, and it was like all encompassing equanimity and wisdom and space like mirror, and then it matches to the you know Patavita Kapha model, and it also matches to the Chinese five element model, and it matches to like the Western psychology. Like there's all these different models, and I've been doing a lot of shamanic journeying. So my mornings have been like really early morning, waking up and looking at the sky and seeing Orion in the sky with a little star app, and asking Orion, what do I need to what do I need to know that I don't know? And what's been so amazing during these journeys into nature, which you're about to undertake, is how much nature speaks back to you. I mean, I heard back like
Mhm.
equanimity, like in your five wisdoms, equanimity is a place that you're still learning to own in this. And then COVID is a perfect place to learn how to be in equanimity in this kind of crazy place. Um, but it's amazing. And I've done a walkabout where I just walked and let my intuition guide me, and then I would notice what caught my attention. I would go with the thought, like a question. So it may be, what kind of healer do you want me to be? Please give me information, spirit. I know you would like me to be a healer, and I walked in, and like the first thing I noticed was a honey bucket. I'm like, okay, that's an answer.
Honey bucket, really? Okay. I don't know what a honey bucket is, but I'm going to sense sweetness here.
Honey bucket is where you go pee. It's one of those outdoor honey buckets.
All right. Well, that's not what I was thinking it was.
Me neither, but I saw the word honey bucket. And then I walked along and I saw a bough of a tree. But it's like there were just different things that were answers to me, because everything around you is speaking to you, helping you navigate the unknown. So I guess the main thing that I've been recognizing is that you're never alone. Even when you think you're alone and you're not getting help, someone is listening when you say, I give up, please help me. Like there are answers that are around you at every single moment.
You could even go as far as to say the not getting help, and this sounds really sacrilege. The not getting help, in quotes, is help.
Yeah.
You are required to walk a certain part of this journey, apparently appearing to be on your own. You're never on your own. But that is part of the walk of faith. It is going to work out. I get to stumble. So right now, the car didn't work out that we were supposed to be towing. I think I mentioned that last time.
Hmm.
So we're getting e-bikes. And it is an overwhelming wild, wild west of figuring out e-bikes. So I have it down to bikes at one store, one model at another store, or a used bike online. Those are the
Mm.
three options. And tomorrow, I will stumble my way forward without a clear path, without a clear understanding, and I will choose. And that stumbling, I feel, is actually an important part of the journey right now. It's not grasping, it's not knowing, it's not holding on, it's allowing yourself to bump like the old school little vacuum cleaners. Now they're the iRobots. It's the same thing. You bounce into one wall, you go into another, and eventually you get where you want to go. But if you felt, and I said this earlier, if you felt this is it, I guarantee you right now you're wrong.
Right. Or if you get, I think the thing that is part underlying that is when you bump in the wall, typically we go, oh, I'm wrong. That's the wrong way. I'm bad, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
But it's like if you can let go, because when I made that mistake, or even if I made a mistake, I don't even know if
And
it's a
it's not a
mistake.
mistake. That's the whole thing. There are no mistakes right now. They are setups
Right.
designed by the universe for you to make choices. Because you'll go back and you'll see why you made that quote unquote mistake. And you'll see you did it for all the right reasons. Now, in hindsight, you've got 2020, you do it a different way. But it was a setup for your learning.
Yeah. And so but I think the key thing is what I recognize with my own experience, and even in the example of the iRobot that you're bringing up, is that we're going to hit, and I think the key thing is when we do hit, not to be too attached to what it means about us or get in fearful positions, to just let go of if you came from a place of innocence without knowing anything and this happened, you would there would be no judgment, there would be no analysis, there would be nothing, but I hit the wall. Okay, the iRobot doesn't like, oh, I hit the wall, what's wrong with me, why did I hit the wall, why do I keep on hitting the wall, why do I keep on why do
Why
I
am I such an idiot? And
exactly.
then the iRobot needs to see an eye counselor,
Exactly, do EFT for the EFT tapping for the
take an
iRobot.
eye medication, and eye anti-anxiety, and go back to its eye childhood.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, but if you could just be from a place of innocence, like I don't know if I don't know anything, even the fact that I think, even I'm convincing myself that I know that this is wrong, I'm bad, whatever kinds of stories you would just even make those completely empty because we don't know. You may go on the trip and find your dream place that you would never expected, and it's because you took the wrong turn off of the exit because you had a flat tire. Like, not that I wish that upon you. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Whole journey, and come back home and go, wow, I never realized the beauty, the this, the that. And I had to go away in order to come back.
Hmm.
And that's perfect too.
Yeah.
No knowledge, no attachment, total surrender, but I'll step forward wherever I'm guided.
Yeah. As hard as it's been for you, I just have complete faith. And I think the thing that's important to recognize is yes, you have spirits around you and you have a whole audience of thousands and millions of views of people who listen to you, and we're all here with you. I mean, we are all here with you because we're all traveling that same journey. And I think it's just such an inspiration that you continue to go on these journeys and explore on our behalf so that we can learn. So it's great. I'm very happy for what you're doing, and I know it's harder than heck. I know.
Thank you. It's a complete, um, the best way to describe it. So Jessica's packing up the garage earlier today, and she'll ask me about anything in the garage. She can ask me about a cardboard box that's rotting in the garage, and I will give her the same answer right now. You're moving too quickly for me. I need you to repeat that more slowly. And I had to actually break it down earlier today and say, I came outside to get something from the car. Now my bandwidth is so full that I looked at the car, I saw the rooster carrier, and I had to process rooster carrier. And then you asked me a question before I could remember what I had to do with the car.
Yeah.
Maslow's hierarchy, when your home, when your stability, when your security is not appearing to be there, that again comes to that leap of faith. You seem very, very full. And now I'm trying to explain it to her that I'm not, the village idiot at the moment. Actually, that person, and there is no such thing, and I don't mean to make fun of anybody, but I'm probably not that smart while
Right.
this is going on. But that's okay too.
Yeah. It's to be expected given the amount of things that you have to do for embarking on a journey with many, many individuals and animals in a place that you don't know when all these things have not come through. Your car, now this bike crimp. It's like it's just you're
Everything
start
going into everything going into storage before we move,
yeah.
not knowing where we're going, an RV I've never driven before, everything. It's a perfect setup for a challenge if I don't go very slowly
Hmm.
and be extra loving, kind, and gentle, no matter what, even when I hear the screaming meowsers inside of my head.
Right. Yeah. I think that the oh, where was I going to go? Mausers. Mausers wants to tell us something.
Let's
We
see.
should listen to
Flying
hear.
treats, meowsers. Flying treats. Let's see if you can find them all. There's cat food flying out of the air right now.
I just don't even remember what we were talking about. I guess that means that like all it's all empty. It's all it's all empty. We think all this stuff is happening to us, but it's really happening for us, by us, at a higher level for our greatest benefit. That would be my shortcut version of it. And I know it's hard to have faith in it, and I know it's really hard, and I it will happen. It will happen the very best outcome. You don't even know what it's going to be, but every single thing that's happening to you is happening for a reason. I remember what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing the Camino, which I did almost a year ago, 2 days ago. And when I've been listening to your stories, it reminded me of the Camino where I was doing the Camino before the Camino occurred. Like even before the big, like when you say yes to going on a journey into the unknown, the minute you say yes, you're on that journey. You think it's not until you like get on the plane and the train and whatever, and I take first step on Camino. No, it happened the minute I said yes to the Camino and all the training beforehand and all of the questions and concerns and stuff beforehand. And like you're already on your journey. The minute you said yes, I'm going and renting the RV, that's when your journey began.
It's interesting. You're so spot on. When I was in automatic writing, I think it was yesterday, day before, and we were looking at extending how long it is before we start and potentially extending a second time, so that I can do it not the old school Michael MO, which would be to rush to try to get out. Instead, I want to do it as slowly as I can to get out. And what I got from automatic writing is you don't want to have to be healing from your journey to healing. In other words, if you rush to get out, you will shred yourself apart. And so your healing journey isn't going to be this overall big picture healing, it's going to be having to heal from the rush.
Right.
And so I am starting the Camino or have started the Camino as gently as I possibly can.
And Mauser's like, wait, am I going on the Camino in this scenario? Because
Oh,
I don't
heck
know if you've
yeah.
told me exactly that I'm going on this journey too. I've been feeling it, but I don't know
Oh,
for sure.
they know something's up. Now, Ruru, he's been the traveler. He's at least every other day he's taking a Tesla ride right now, and he is at his calmest when we're driving down the highway in the Tesla, our rooster, just loves it.
I feel like there's potentially a Tesla ad in your future. I
Oh,
don't even know what the
Elon.
ad would be. But like bright yellow car with a rooster in it. There's got to be some type of marketing promotion in here. Tesla,
We
please call
started,
Michael up.
there's like a rooster rave song that we started for the beginning of a class of boot camp we did last week. It was just so wrong. It had to be right.
Well, this has just been wonderful. We're all integrating. You've been taking 5 years of learning, right? Like this has been the best PhD ever. You and I have been taking this PhD in alternative ways of living. And now you're like taking on the road and integrating everything. It's one thing learning, it's another thing integrating it when, you have to fix a tire or the chicken runs, someplace where you're not expecting to, or the diaper doesn't work out. I'm not sure what it will be with you, Michael.
It's been right out of a sitcom movie already. I've got chicken poo on my hand.
Exactly.
What happened?
What kind of sitcom would have a chicken in it with in a backpack? I don't even know. You never cease to amaze and entertain me, Michael. Your stories with animals are just it puts Dr. Dolittle to shame. Like seriously.
That's the hardest part for us is we've been doing our best since we decided to do this to back off from the animals. And
Oh,
that is still the biggest pull. And like
yeah.
we saw Peanut, the golden mantle squirrel, earlier today, and he's standing up and looking at us on his hind legs. And that's going to be the hardest thing when I get out of automatic writing is you'll be surprised where you land and fully grow roots. There will be even more animals than you can imagine because it's energy. It said that you
Mm.
think that it was intellect that brought these animals to you. Oh no, it's your energetic vibration, and the animals know you and they will find you.
It's so true because I'm not even a big animal person, and they come to me. Puppies, I think puppies come to everyone. I think I don't know.
Not everyone, not everyone.
Okay, but dogs always are like they're kind of walking like we've been talking about this before. So I think you just have that at kind of a woo woo woo, like you're vibrating at some level. The animals are like, now that's something. I gotta go check that human out. Whatever that thing is, I'm gonna check it out because it feels good and feels loving. I'm just gonna, fly over or slither over or leap over or whatever kind of animals crawl on your
We've
lap,
had it
like
all.
eat out of the hand of this total stranger. I look forward to hearing your other animal stories, and I pray that you have wonderful, clear blue skies and safe journey and magical experiences beyond that you can imagine as you travel into the unknown. There's so much love following you.
Thank you, thank you. Lots of love right back at you. And if I missed anything on your list, I apologize. I am operating on
One brain cell at max. I get
pretty
it.
much all heart, limited brain at the moment, all good. And in fact, I had a class a couple days ago, such a beautiful class, and I couldn't write my notes for it. I could
Yeah.
not do it. And so I started class and I had about 10 minutes worth of notes, and I got to where there are no more notes. And I went, this is the leap of faith. And a class spilled out of me more beautifully than I ever could have imagined.
That's fantastic. That's a beautiful story, and that's the story of life, really.
So I couldn't have prepared for that one. And so rather than judging myself and getting real nervous about class, I think I may have actually told Jessica beforehand. I said, Pookie, this is the good stuff. I said, because I have no idea what I'm teaching tonight.
I cannot. Oh, there's Meowsers again. We were just
On
waiting.
cue.
On
Going,
cue.
chop, chop. Have you checked your kitty watch yet?
Exactly. All right. Well, I am good, Michael. I am just so thrilled for you.
It's going to be a journey.
We're
And
going to
life is a
miss you.
journey for all of us.
We will miss you
So,
for the next 8 weeks.
and we will keep in touch. All right. So for I don't even know how to wrap this thing up. I love you no matter who you are, where you are. We're all going on this journey together. Of course, you can actually literally follow the journey with us. Patreon.com, patreon.com /Inspire Nation, on youtube.com /Inspire Nation Show. Anywhere Inspire Nation, we are going to have Facebook Inspire Nation Show, Instagram Inspire Nation Live, TikTok, think Inspire Nation or Inspire Nation Show, just about everywhere you can think of. Twitter, that's Inspire 7 billion. We need to upgrade that. We also have Inspire 8 billion. But but we will be sharing our journey because we're all going through this. We are
Right.
all going
So
through
we
this.
can actually go to all those channels that you mentioned and hear either live events or YouTube
Yeah.
clips sharing your journey with us.
Patreon.com /Inspire Nation. That's a like behind the firewall, behind the scenes, cost you fractional amount a month. You get everything. But then we're going to have a lot on social media as well. Patreon just helps support the journey, but everywhere we are going to share. In fact, right now, it's been hard for me. Our editor says this is the good stuff, this is the juice, and has wanted us to record all of the challenges along the way over the last few weeks. I love being on camera for this work, but when I'm in mopey mode and observing mopey mode, so I'm okay with it. But to say, oh, now's the time I should get the camera and share with everybody, it's true, but that has been uniquely challenging for me.
I know I was telling a friend of mine, I'm like, when I am on the Inspire Nation, I'm like, there's usually like the upbeat one and there's the more Eeyore one. I'm like, I'm the Eeyore one, which is kind
Yeah.
of amazing because in most life, in most other experiences, I'm the person who's like the cheery one, but because life loves balance, like when I'm with you, I'm like the mopey kind of vulnerable one, which is not necessarily what I'm like in normal circumstances, but it will be interesting to see all the various parts of you come alive on this,
I'm going to
on your
be as
life
open and
aspect.
raw and honest as I possibly can because somebody can learn from it.
Yeah,
Me as well, but somebody can learn from me sharing the works.
yeah, absolutely. Bon voyage!
Yes, indeed.
Woohoo!
So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler and
CJ Lou from the Fired Up with CJ show.
saying, be well, have fun, step out on that glass bridge. It is there, and people are surrounding you. Spirit is surrounding you. Angels are surrounding you to help you to the other side. Have faith, go for it, and shine bright.
Woohoo! It means so much to me that you're listening to the show and would love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.